women will never be forgiven for what they've done to men. It is a very true thing that I am stating right now. Women have created a world where no one wants to live. It is so profound. Those words are so, so profound. It is absolutely miserable what men are going through. And yet, women will not stop. They are just on a just insane rampage right now. The humiliation that you're seeing happening around us, the things that are happening that are happening with men would never be tolerated if it happened to women. Let's jump into this.
Winner, please, for best dressed.
All right. And the winner for best dressed, John Cena.
Because, Robin, sometimes less really is more. The actor presenting in his birthday suit, almost really, a nod to the 50th anniversary of the infamous Academy Award streaker. Remember this back in 1974? Well, I'm old enough to remember it. Take a look.
Costumes. They are so important. Maybe the most important thing there is. I can't open the envelope without
The nominees for Best Costume Design are...
That was a great moment. It was a show-stopping moment, right? We have our own John Cena with us this morning, and after that moment, Cena made a quick change into a curtain, ladies and gentlemen, to hand out the award to Poor Things.
So, I mean, it's kind of insane what they are doing. It's absolutely insane what they are doing. This is a humiliation ritual. But the craziest thing regarding this is that if you went back many, many years ago, this would typically not even be acceptable when women did it. It's just, guys, this is entirely about destroying men, humiliating men, stripping men of all dignity, of all humanity, and lowering them down to a state nothing, comparable to that of the animal, but beneath the animal. I talk about how women hate men in society. I say that they do not like us. You don't treat someone that you like this way. Can you imagine how men would react if someone they loved, someone they cared about, was treated like this? They would not tolerate it. If you look at what's happening right now, if I care about someone, my relationship with women these days is one of distance. But if someone I loved decided that they were going to go and open up an OnlyFools account, I would not be in support of it most of the time. I would say, yeah, I don't really want you here. I don't think this is good for you. I think that, it's going to have a negative effect on your future. Sure, you may have instant gratification in the present, but this is short term. In the long term, it's going to make it more difficult for you to get into a relationship. It will make it more difficult for you to get a job in the real world. No one's going to want you to be their girlfriend. No one's going to want you to be their wife. Your children, if you have children in the future, and they find out what you've done in your past or what you're still doing at that time, if you're still on OnlyFools and LonelyFans, your children will be ashamed to have you as a mother. And of course, you may act like you don't care, but you don't care until society starts, just basically starts turning its back on you. So, and that's the reality where you would say, I wouldn't want someone that I cared about to do something like this. And yet this is how society is celebrating. John Cena has been on a path of this recently. Like, this is nothing new. I mean, here's a picture of Cena from one of his latest movies coming out, and there's no reason whatsoever for him to be dressed like this in the movie. The movie is basically about a guy who was hired to pretend to be another guy, a friend of this group of characters, and they would try to get rid of him after he won't go away. But there's no reason for him to be dressed like this. Okay, Dave Chappelle warned about this. He talked about this almost 20 years ago. He said that they told him, put on the dress. He said, no. They said, put on the dress. He said, no. They said, Dave, you're acting a little crazy right now. This is some insane stuff. This is some insane stuff. He warned everyone 20 years ago about what was happening, and they destroyed his career. And he refused to put on the dress. You know who put that dress on, though? I'll tell you who put on the dress. Little Kevin Hart. Little Kevin Hart basically acted like he wasn't going to do it, and then he put it on, and he started dancing in it and shaking it, like, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Kevin was happy in his little dress. I'm sure he had on the matching bra and panties. And, you know, it's crazy what these men will do for money. It's absolutely what they will do for money, fame, and influence. This is a humiliation ritual. It's 100% a humiliation ritual, but it's amazing how women are celebrating this. You know, look at GMA, look at Robin celebrating this. Look at all of these people celebrating John Cena being degraded like this in our society. I think it's disgusting. But of course, this is what Hollywood is today. This is what the world is today. This is what we've come to. You know, this is not humanity. This is a dystopic reality. And it just keeps on getting worse as we're regularly reminded that we will own nothing and be happy. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But what I can say is that after everything that women have done, you know, all of the evil, they're not going to be forgiven for this. They're not going to be forgiven for what they've done to men. They're going to, they're going to try to say things like, men, you need to stop blaming us for your own poor decisions, or how can you say that it's our fault? This is what was done to all of us. So you need to stop this nonsense, and you need to fight with us, not against us. Guys, I told you that women were going to say feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight it together. I did tell you this. And I said many years ago, even though the label feminism would go away, the legacy of feminism would live on forever. It's not going anywhere. Feminism is not going anywhere. It's going to be around. It's always been around. Feminism was around in the Roman Empire thousands of years ago. Feminism destroyed the Roman Empire. You had women in the Roman Empire who were able to live and survive off the state. That's essentially what it came down to. They were allowed no-fault divorces, so they were able to divorce their husbands, take a portion of their wealth, and the Roman Empire was so prosperous that the average Roman citizen did not need to work. They could go to school, they can learn, they can go to the Colosseum, they could enjoy a relatively easy and stable life. But all of this was the result of men contributing to society. Because even though the average Roman citizen did not have to do anything, the average Roman citizen contributed to society. The men contributed to society. And as a result of those contributions, they had a strong empire that spanned for most of Europe. When the Roman Empire fell, we lost 200,000 years of human innovation and knowledge. It was a repository of knowledge and information. I mean, you have to understand, the Roman Empire had consumed Greece. There was so much knowledge in Greece. It had consumed all of these ancient societies. All of this knowledge was in the Roman Empire. And when it fell, we were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. And it fell because women were given all these rights and privileges in society. They began divorcing their husbands. They began deleting their husbands, running off with gladiators, so Chads and Tyrones. Men walked away from society. They were punished for walking away from society. And eventually, after a couple hundred years, there was no military. Men stopped giving a damn about society. Violent men, the mercenaries, they basically pillaged the kingdom when they realized that the Roman Empire could no longer take care of itself because there were no men that were willing to stand up and fight. And that was it. And we were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. We entered a very long era of stupidity. It was an age of ignorance and stupidity. And, it took 1,000 years to get out of that. And many of the innovations, much of the knowledge of mankind was never recovered. There's so many fools that, on that comment in my description and act like, oh, it wasn't like that was nothing. The knowledge that we lost in the Roman Empire was nothing. It was inconsequential. We had computers in the Roman Empire, actual computers. No, they did not use electricity, but as far as we know, but they had actual computers in the Roman Empire. We lost all of that. We've only found bits and pieces of this knowledge, and it took ages to even discover that there were computers in the Roman Empire. My gosh. While calculus was created while calculus was created, I believe it was in the 17th century, elements of calculus, originated from the Middle East and other societies. And this is insane stuff. This came about thousands of years ago. Like, guys, we had advanced forms of math around thousands of years ago, but it makes perfect sense because we've been on the planet in our current state for about 200,000 years. What does that mean exactly? This means that if you were to go back 100,000 years ago, the human beings that were on this planet 100,000 years ago, they are no different than the human beings that are on the planet today. If you took a person that was born 100,000 years ago as a baby, brought them to our era, and raise them in today's world, they would be exactly the same as we are. There is no difference. It's not like they were Neanderthals or no. They're normal human beings just like us. And all of this, and so they had to have been doing something for the last couple 100,000 years. It's clear that something happened, that something went wrong. And a lot of these societies have fallen. You look at what has led to the decline of most societies, and you'll find that women have been at the center of it. Nations have risen, and more so have fallen. I should say risen. Nations have fallen, because of a single woman. Nations have risen because men were sick and tired of nonsense, and they had dreams and ambitions. Nations have fallen because men were foolish, and they allowed women to trick them into getting to situations that ultimately led to the decline of societies. Guys, I want to know what you guys think regarding all of this. Do you agree women will never be forgiven for what they've done to men? I just don't see it happening. Like elephants, men will have very long memories. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk more about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Ben walking away, and cheers.